I am Stan Bendel for Preserving Arizona Wilderness, and for today's 7th episode, we are at the trailhead of the Bear Wallow Trail, and we're on our way to the Bear Wallow Wilderness. The Bear Wallow Wilderness is an 11,080-acre wilderness located in the Apache National Forest, managed by the U.S. Forest Service. Bear Wallow Creek provides a habitat for the endemic and threatened Apache trout. Arizona Highways rates Bear Wallow Trail in the Bear Wallow Wilderness as one of its top 52 day hikes. Bear Wallow is appropriately named because this is one of the densest places in the state for black bears, and they do wallow. Wallows are wet, boggy areas where the black bears roll around to rid themselves of insects. Bear Wallow Trail starts by descending into an alpine forest that includes quaking aspen. Indeed, this trail starts at 8,720 feet and drops to 6,657 feet over 15.2 miles. After 15 minutes, the trail arrives at a small meadow. Just beyond this, you'll find a huge Douglas fir. Birds are plentiful here, including woodpeckers. After another 15 minutes, hikers come to North Fork of Bear Wallow Creek, which is supposed to be a year-round waterway, as evergreens, box elders, and oaks are here. Heading downstream, the trail follows the creek and crosses it several times. Expect to get your feet wet. About an hour into the hike, Bear Wallow Trail intersects with the Reno Trail. 20 minutes later, you come to another intersection with Shell Canyon Trail, which is where the north and south forks of Bear Wallow Creek come together. You've come to the 3.5-mile mark, and this is where most turn around. Those who continue a few miles further will find a fish barrier which protects the Apache trout from the rainbow trout. Bear Wallow Wilderness is open to public use. However, the trails may not yet be assessed or maintained for hazards associated with fires such as falling trees, flooding, and burned out stump holes.
Every year, Roz and I usually drive down there and hike a little on some of the trails. And in 2011, I think there were campers that started a wildfire, and it was a record number of acres burned, and it came all the way up to Greer and stopped and burned some houses and stopped into the valley.
The Wallow Fire, one of the biggest fires in Arizona history, happened in 2011 when it was 70 degrees, low humidity, and the wind was gusting up to 55 miles per hour. Two cousins finished their breakfast with a morning fire at their camp in the Bear Wallow Wilderness. The campers left for a hike. Before leaving, they threw a snack wrapper in the fire pit. Since the wrapper didn't melt, the campers did not attempt to extinguish the fire. Smoke was reported from lookout towers. Firefighters, a helicopter, and spotter plane dispatched to the scene. Campers head back to their camp, but were faced with smoke and flames and made their escape down the canyon. Less than 2 hours after leaving the smoldering embers unattended, the fire surged dramatically in a show of extreme fire behavior. Trees were torching and wind-driven embers sparking spot fires miles ahead. By the fourth day, more than 100,000 acres had been burned. It took more than a month to contain the fire. It cost over $42 million. It burned more than 840 square miles. Let that sink in. 840 square miles, 32 homes, and dozens of other structures. Campers were found guilty of leaving campfire unattended, failing to clear flammable material. Their punishment was 48 hours in jail and a $3.7 million fine.
The campers shouldn't be leaving fires and starting fires. They should know what if they're out here camping in our wilderness areas, know how to keep them safe.
Imagine lingering around camp after breakfast, then heading out for a hike down to the creek, only to return to a forest thick with smoke. Our campfire was out, you might think, but unless you use dirt and water to ensure it's dead out, you too could be responsible for a forest fire. Remember to be fire safe, observe your surroundings. Is it windy? Are there fire restrictions? Are there drought conditions? Prepare the area. Clear vegetation within a 10-foot wide circle around the fire ring and make sure nothing is hanging above. Attend the fire, never walk away from an active or smoldering fire. Put the fire dead out, even if the fire has been out for hours. Always drown the coals with water. Stir and repeat. If water is not available, use dirt, stir and repeat. Do this until the whole contents are cool to the touch. Repeat if still warm. Do not bury fires. This can cause roots to smolder and realign at the surface, causing a wildfire. A bucket and shovel are key elements in any camping kit. The Forest Service has signs clearly posted at the trailhead warning you that this is a fire-damaged area. The trail is not cleared of hazards. Use at your own risk, and watch for falling trees, blocked routes, and eroded trail, and it can also change with the weather and it can cause flooding. Hikers are responsible for their own safety. Always look up, look down, and look all around. The Bear Wallow Wilderness is home to some of the largest acreage of ponderosa pine in the Southwest, as well as a blanket of pine, fir, and spruce. Black bears still abound, and you may also see elk, deer, and a diverse community of smaller mammals, birds, and reptiles. Wildflowers, which we saw a lot of, bloom in profusion, especially during the summer rains. Poison ivy is present, and thus long pants instead of short are recommended. I am Stan Bendel for Preserving Arizona Wilderness. Please continue to follow us on our next adventure.